Hello, my name is Saurav, and today I'm going to talk about the most important thing that everyone is asking me when they contact me is how to invest in Dubai. So let's begin. So the most important thing one should know is why someone should invest in Dubai. There are many reasons. The most important is that you don't have to pay any taxation on your property other than the 4% registration fees. So when you're buying the property as an expat, meaning that you are not the residents of Dubai or a GCC national, you can buy the property in a freehold dedicated area as an expat. And once you buy the property, only for the first time when you register it, then only you have to pay the 4% land registration fees. Now another thing is they ask us that how much rental return I can get once the property is ready, or if I buy a ready to move in property. The rental yield expectation can be between 5 to 8% depending on which location that you're going to choose. Now it also varies whether you are going for a long-term rental or a short-term rental. So for long-term rental, it would be between 5 to 8%. In some areas you can expect between 10%. Also it depends on when you have purchased the property. So for example, other day I was with a client in Al Barari. He bought the property in 2019 for around 4.5. Now the return on his property for a yearly contract is around 480. So on a long-term basis is making more than 10%. But in the today's current market, if you check at what price you are buying and what rental return you are getting, is must be between 5 to 8%, but it is case to case on a long-term rental return. Second thing is short-term rental. The rentals are higher. So in downtown you can even expect the short-term rental can go up to 12%. Also in some areas you can expect 15% if it's a seafront property or it's a big huge villa. So all factors come in to determine the rental return. Another thing is whether it is safe for them to live in Dubai or to live in UAE. I got a question from one client that my daughter is telling me that if I will live in Abu Dhabi, then I cannot go out in a or in a dress wherein my body parts are showing, like in a way like my shoulder or my legs. Then I told them that it's not like it is. You can definitely go to the beach and however you want to go. Is the same as you have to do it in Dubai. So they have misconception because it's a Muslim nation, so they think that it's not as open as they live in their country. But the fact is Dubai in terms of safety is one of the best location to live in. I can go out at night and wear two Rolexes in my hand and still I will be sure that no one will come and snatch it from my hand. And also another thing is I am sure that no one will put a gun in my head and take the stuff from me. So that's the security you can expect in Dubai. And if I'm making a call to police right now, they will come to my location in the next 5 minutes. So this is something which gives me a peace of mind that my family is living here. I can expect that if my kids are going out, they are safe. I can expect that if my kids are going to the school, I make sure that their head is not someone is not putting the gun in their head and killing them. So I am free of that thing. So this is also very important. It's very safe in Dubai and in UAE. Another thing is that about the population. They think that in Dubai the population is very less. So it means that the properties will not be rented out. All the apartments will be empty, or they will think that there are less number of business, so no one will come and work here. But this is a complete false scenario. If you see in this year, the population of Dubai has increased to more than 4 million and more than 150 to 200,000 people have resided within this year alone. And the expectation is to grow up to 5.8 million over the years. And they are also expecting it to grow above 7 million once they reach the numbers that they have over the guidelines that they have put in the government website. So this is a complete false scenario. Right now, if I want to go from downtown to Sharjah after working hours, I have to stay in the traffic for more than 1 hour. So this is completely false. Another thing is about the infrastructure. They think that it's a desert, then the infrastructure will not be the best, which is also very wrong. They are one of the best buildings, one of the best location to live in, one of the best communities. Like MR has more than 12 communities. Umniyat has a project by the name of Zaha Hadid. They have Dorchester collection. You have all the hotels in the world that you can think of, from Fairmount, One and Only. You have Raffles, name it. All the restaurants are available here in Dubai. In terms of lifestyle, so if someone is expecting to have the best lifestyle, they can come here. Like if you want the Rolexes, like for example, I am from India, so if I want to buy a good luxury car in India, I have to pay more than 200% tariff on that particular thing that I am buying. So but that's not the scenario here because of the taxation. Now another thing is, who can invest in Dubai? This is also very most important thing. Can I invest in Dubai or not? Yes, you can. It doesn't matter whether you are a GCC national, you are from 196 countries, from wherever you are, you can invest in Dubai. Doesn't matter. And you have to make sure that in Dubai you have 3 dedicated zones. So one is the freehold area, then you have restricted area, and then you have the leasehold area. As an expat, you can hold the property in your name until and unless you don't sell the property. It will be yours for lifetime, which will be a freehold area. And you have to make sure whether you are contacting anyone to ask that whether this property is freehold or not. Now another thing is that whether you should need a residency or not to buy a property in Dubai. You don't need to have any residency. You just need your passport, which you need to have a passport of your country where you are from. That's it. And your home address, your email address, mobile number to register the property in your name so that the documents can be generated. That's it, what you need. You don't need the residency to buy a property. If you invest in Dubai for above 750,000 dirham or 750,000 dirham, you can get a residency of Dubai. You have different kinds of visas. One is the normal residency visa, which is for 2 years. Then you have the golden visa, golden residency, for 10 years if the property is above 2 million dirham. I am coming to that point later on. So this is the thing. Then another thing is, can I buy with my company name? Yes, you can buy with your company name. If the company is registered in the UAE, you can buy in your company name, not as other company from other part of the world. It needs to be in Dubai as a company. Now, what is the difference between freehold, leasehold and restricted area? So as I mentioned you, is freehold areas, like for example, you have downtown, Business Bay, you have World Trade Center, then you have DIFC, you have Palm Jumeirah, Dubai Marina, JLT, Jumeirah Village Circle, Dubai South, Dubai Land area, Silicon area. So all these areas are freehold area. So you have to ask your agent that the property that he is buying or I am buying, so it is located in a freehold area or not. Then the leasehold areas, like you have Greens community in the side of where you have the Al Maktoum International Airport. So this Greens community has, if you buy properties, only for 99 years. So it's not a freehold area. So a leasehold area is where you can lease the property between 30 to 99 years. Then you have the restricted area where only GCC nationals can buy. So for example, you have the villas on Jumeirah side, only GCC national can buy. You have some villas in Mushrif area, only GCC nationals can buy over there. You have, for example, in Fujairah, Eagle Hills have a project, only GCC national can buy over there. So that is a restricted area where only the GCC nationals can buy, which means 7 GCC countries that are there, including United Arab Emirates. Now, how many Emirates are there in United Arab Emirates? Everyone is aware of Dubai. Now we have 7 of them, which is Dubai, Abu Dhabi, then Sharjah, Ajman, Ras Al Khaimah, Al Quwain and Fujairah. Now Dubai being the most popular one, but Abu Dhabi is the financial center, financial city of the states. So here you have lot of projects. For example, one of the largest data center will be set up in Abu Dhabi. Disney World will be open up there by 2033. areas like Sadyat Island, Rias Island, then you have Ramhan Island, Algiers Island. A lot of islands are there. So these islands are getting developed, and that is a freehold area. Also, it's the same like that you have in Dubai, is the same in Abu Dhabi, that you have freehold area, restricted area, and leasehold area. The difference is that if you buy property in Dubai, you have to pay the 4% registration fees, but if you buy property in Abu Dhabi, you have to pay the 2% registration fees, not 4%. In Dubai, you can get the golden visa once the down payment is done and the SPA is signed. Then you get the Akud pre-title deed, and then you can get the golden visa. But in Abu Dhabi, that's not the same. You have to wait to complete the full 2 million dirham value of the property. Then only you are eligible to apply for the golden visa. And in another emirate, the property needs to be ready to get the golden visas. Even though these are part of one country, the rules and regulation in terms of the residency, getting residency is different. Now you have Sharjah. Sharjah is well renowned for affordable homes. Like anyone who is working in Dubai has salary of around 5 to 10,000 dirhams and have their family in UAE. They live in Sharjah, and you have places like Masar is very famous. Then you have Mariam Island. You have main Sharjah, main downtown of Sharjah. These are the areas. So it's also there you have the freehold area as well as leasehold. Then you have Ajman, which is budget friendly. Also the prices, they are comparatively very less. You can get in Ajman for 2 million dirham a villa, but it's a little bit away and not a lot happening over there. Then you have Ras Al Khaimah, where you have the Wind Casino coming up 2027. More than 5 million passengers will be visiting the particular island. Will give a great demand for the tourism. Rental returns will go high, prices will go up. Then you have Al Queen, where Shoba has a project located, and then this is mostly sea water area. Then you have Fujairah, where you have the mountains, you have beach lifestyle, very underdeveloped, like only GCC nationals can buy over there. No freehold properties that I can think of are available. Now we are going to talk about Dubai's future, and I'm going to talk about the D33 agenda and the 2040 vision. And the thing is, when I came to Dubai, at the time everyone was telling me that the prices will go down, Dubai is a bubble. And since I even remember one client told me that once Expo 2020 is done, the prices will go down. Only because of Expo 2020, Dubai is seeing an exponential demand. But that's not the case, and we are still in 2025, still prices are going up. Now the reason is the urban master plan and the D33 agenda. Now what is the agenda D33? It is a 8.7 trillion economic plan to double the Dubai's economy by 2033. So in dirhams, I am talking around, let's say 30 trillion, 34 trillion dirhams. So that's the kind of economy they are planning to create. More foreign investment will come. BlackRock has office located here. Everyone is coming to Abu Dhabi to open the company. Mubadala Group is doing investment everywhere. So they are planning to create this a financial hub. They are planning to make it as a AI destination. If you talk about artificial intelligence, you talk about United States, you talk about China, and then you talk about UAE. Yeah, so these are the important factors. And then another thing is the 2040 urban master plan, wherein they are talking about to expand the green areas, more waterfront development, and new residential communities. The important thing is the coastal area will be increased by 400%. They have divided the city into 5 zones. So things are happening and optimism is there. So we can see that the prices will still go up. Expanding of making of the Etihad railway station, metro lines are coming all over the city. More people are moving in. So these are the factors that are coming in and which make sure that the prices will keep rising because of the population that is coming into the city. Then another question most of them ask me is, do I need a bank account to invest? That is the most important thing they ask me, because once they are ready to buy, this is the question. So no, you don't need a bank account to buy a property in Dubai. The only thing what you need is, once you give your documents like passport, email address, mobile number, and the address, home address, after that what you need to do is, the developer is going to send you, or your agent is going to send you a bank account detail, so you can directly bank transfer from your home country account to the account of that particular. It needs to be an escrow account or the account of the developer. So that is the one thing. You can directly make the transfer from your home country, or they will also provide you option to pay by the card, by the payment link. So those options are also available. Yeah, so also now another thing is, if you once the property is purchased, right, it's in off-plan phase. Now once the property gets ready, and once the property is ready, now to put the property on rent, then you need to have a bank account. Now I will tell you why. Because once the rental agreement is signed, you find a tenant, your agent says, I have a tenant available to book your property for a year. So when the tenancy contract is getting signed, at that time the checks needs to be given by the tenant to the landlord. In that situation, in the check, the name of the landlord is mentioned, and those checks can only be deposited in the UAE banks. So that is why at that time, once the property is ready, then you need the bank account, not before. For mortgage, if you want to get a mortgage, then you need a bank account. If you are giving your property for the management, like for example Airbnb, then you need. Other than that, to buy the property, you don't need a bank account. Okay, now it also depends whether you're buying the property in off plan, which is under construction, or you're buying the property once it's ready. So it depends on that, or it's a resale property or not. So once the property is resale, now the property is purchased and you are trying to resell it, at that time, to receive the funds from the individual who is buying the property, because he is going to give you the payment by a manager check. So by a check, so that check can only be deposited into the bank account of the UAE. At that time you need a bank account. Or there are different ways to go around it if you're buying the property in secondary market, which I will tell you in the next video how to go around that. But the most important thing to need to know is, most of the investment that is getting done in Dubai is in off-plan, and in off-plan property you can definitely buy a property without having a bank account in Dubai or in UAE. Now another thing is about the mortgages and the payment plan. So yes, in terms of the payment plan, yes, if you're buying an under construction property, an off-plan property, developer directly provide you a payment plan with 0% interest. You have to make the certain down payment, whether 10% or 20%, or pay the land registration fees. After that, you need to follow the payment plan till the property is ready. So this is very flexible with no interest. Another is if you are planning to get the mortgage. So mortgages are only possible 90% of the time on the ready property, because physical bank can allow you to get the mortgage. Now you need to make sure whether you are a resident applying a mortgage or a non-resident. If you are a resident, then you can get mortgage up to 80% depending on your like if I am earning, let's say 10,000 dirhams, so my criteria, my eligibility also comes into the picture, my earnings. So that needs to be also checked upon before you can get the pre-approval on the mortgage. So that is for the residents. For non-residents, it is possible, but the difference is, as a resident and a non-resident is, if you are a resident, the interest rate is lesser, between 4% to 5%, or between, depends what time you're buying, what time you are getting the mortgage. But when you are a non-resident and applying a mortgage in Dubai, the interest rate is always higher. You can expect above 6%, because here the vitality, the risk from the bank is much more higher, because you don't have a residency in Dubai. So this way they cannot track you and come to your home country to collect the funds. So here the vitality, for the bank, it's more difficult. That's why the interest rate is high, because they are taking the risk, so they are charging you more interest on it. As a non-resident, you can get loan up to 50%, depend on your what is your eligibility. Now the next thing is, how much do you need to invest? This is also very important. Some people come to me and they tell me, I want to invest $100,000. They don't have any idea about the market. So that's the thing. So I'm going to talk to you right now about that. That's the most important thing to know. So if you are buying an off-plan property, let's say the property will be ready in next 4 to 5 years, you need to make sure at least you need to have 300,000 dirhams yearly to make the payments for the payment plan. Between 150 to 300,000 dirhams. Depends on what property you are buying. Now, you can get apartments, let's say studio apartments in ready market, the ones which are maybe in international city, for 500, 600 or 650,000 dirhams minimum you need to have for those properties, and everything needs to be paid upfront to the seller. Depends whether you can get the mortgage or not. So what I can tell you is to give you the answer. To get the visa for a residency, minimum requirement is 750,000. To get the golden visa, the requirement is 2 million dirham. But if you want to do an investment which will give you fruitful return, you need to make sure that you are always looking for the best developers. Not the location, but the developers, which is very important in Dubai. Because the best developers will always choose the best location. For example, Emaar. Now, Emaar is a developer which is a semi-government developer, and they are very close with the government of Dubai. So they know where the development is happening. They are investing, they are heavily investing right now in Dubai South. 3 communities are lined up. The amount of investment they do in an area determines the development of real estate in that area. So they come and they come with a mark to set in the market. So what I'm trying to tell you is, you need to make sure that the developer needs to have a track record, needs to be one of the best. So you need to make sure of that. If you're investing in a good developer with good track record, you always gonna make return. Location is the second part, because the good developer always chooses the good location. Now another thing is, what I'm going to talk about is, what should I invest? Let's say, should I go for apartment, villa, or a townhouse? Now it completely depends on your finances. If you have the finances available, then to go for an investment which is gonna give you the returns is the answer to your question. And the other day I was talking to one individual. He was asking me, should I go for 10 studios or buy one villa? And my question to him was, and my answer to him was that, see, you should always go with an investment which makes sense. And the market is right now in a way wherein the supply that is coming into the market, only 18 to 20% is roughly around where you have the villas and the townhouses. So going for a segment in the market which gives you the sense that it will go appreciate faster, that villas and townhouses is that thing. So going for that gives you more sensible opportunity. Or if you're looking for the commercial market, rentals are getting higher, prices are going up, so that is also an option. So you need to do your research, talk to your agent, it will give you the insights. Depending on that, depending on your finances, you can decide that. Okay, so most of the important questions that usually the people ask me, I have covered it. Now what I am going to cover right now is that to get the golden visa, as I was explaining, once the investment you do in Dubai for 2 million dirham, done with the down payment, Akood is already out there. So how the process works out, the government fees is around 10,000 to 11,000 dirhams. Now depends on which way you are applying. You are applying directly with the government or through an agency. It completely depends on the pricing. And if you apply through an agency, the pricing will be different. Now to get this process done, you need to make sure that you are in Dubai. Okay, you need to make sure your passport is there available, at least more than 6 months validity. Then another thing is you need to have a passport size photo. As per the Ministry of the government, they have given the guidelines how it should be. So the photo should be proper. A scanned passport, a code document must be there. Now another thing is, need to check whether your property is an apartment or a villa. If your property is apartment, then need to have the proof that the payment is going from your account, your bank account, which is in your home country, or in Dubai in your home country, from your bank account, from your name, the money went into the escrow account. So you need to have that proof that the money that you paid, it went into the escrow account if you have an apartment. But whereas if you have a villa, you don't need to have that. You just need to have the code and that's it, khalas. And then you need statement of account from the developer that this much amount has been paid. So these details that I have mentioned, if this is available, then directly you can apply the golden visa, and within the same time as the payment is done, the same day you can get your medical done, and within 3-4 days, 5 days, depending on that, your fingerprint will come. Once you do the fingerprint, then that's it, you can leave the country. Your Emirates ID will come after 2 days. So this is how the golden visa process is done. And with the golden visa, you can also sponsor your family. You can sponsor your spouse, like your wife or your husband. You can sponsor your kids. You can sponsor your mother, father. These are the people that you can sponsor. Other than that, anyone else you will sponsor. Like if you want your mates, you can sponsor that as well. Now the benefit of golden visa is, and the normal residency visa is, difference is, if you have a golden visa and you leave the country, you don't have any limitation that you need to be in the city back in 6 months, which you have in normal residency visa. But in golden visa, you don't have this thing. You can come even after 9 years, your visa will still be valid. So that's the power of a golden visa. So this is another important thing. You can set up your business with the help of a golden visa without being in any issue. So yes, this is the important thing about the golden visa. And if you have any more doubts, any questions, you can comment me below. I will give you the answer about it. And yes, thank you for watching the video.